Jordan, you're up.
Oh, I was waiting for the intro, man. I forgot we go me first. Then this will be a good intro, though. It shows the reality of the behind the scenes stuff. And so, hey, here we are, Jordan Espeseth here, the host of DFW's Real Estate Best podcast, and I'm excited to be on. I feel like it's been a little bit since I've hopped on the podcast, and as always, we have amazing guests that join us today. We are going to have one of our newest RP vetted business partners. He is with Fidelity National Home Warranty. We're going to learn a bit about him, his background, but he's also got some amazing facts, some things you might not know about warranty or things to be considering. He'll share some stories about people who have been in lawsuits related to warranty, and he's going to give us some information on how we can protect ourselves and some really important nuggets. And so tune in right now. All right, everybody, welcome back. Again, very excited to get started on this podcast. And before we hop in, I just want to thank the difference, Landon Wilson behind the scenes for putting our podcast together. The difference, they provide video branding and digital business development solutions for small businesses like myself and entrepreneurs locally and statewide. And in this last year, Len was telling me they've passed over 1 million viewers and listeners, which is absolutely incredible. And so the difference can help any business and brand grow their awareness and develop a message that really humanizes your business in a way that grows your brand, expands your connections and relationships, that can increase your influence and relevance, and quickly help you become a power player and a mover and shaker in your sphere, in your community, and your industry and your business world. So as always, thank you, Len, and thank you to The Difference. Guys, the RP podcast, DFW's Real Estate Best podcast, man, we love to do these shows because if you guys know what Real Producers is, we are an exclusive community around the best agents and best businesses within the market. So we do have an exclusive publication for them. We do have private events for those people. But what's cool about the podcast is it's kind of the way to glimpse into our world. If you're not a top producing agent, if you're not a business that's part of us, if you are a consumer that's out there, man, this is your opportunity to be able to check in and kind of see a little bit more, hear from these top businesses, hear from these top producing real estate agents, and take a glimpse into our world. And so very excited to provide this podcast to y'all, and excited to have our guest on. This is a guy that I actually met at the Sky House. I live here at the Sky House in Frisco, and I kept bumping into him in the hallways, and we became good friends, started talking more, and very excited to have him on. And you guys are going to learn a lot. He's very intelligent, very smart man, has his hands on a lot of different things. And so I'm excited to bring on Mike Sanad with Fidelity National Home Warranty. Mike, what's going on?
How you doing, Jordan? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well. You said it earlier. I thought it was Sanad. Is it Shanad?
That would be, yes, phonetically the right way to pronounce it.
Shanad is more appropriate.
That's right. That's right.
Got it. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad to have you inside the RP community. You're one of our newest partners, and so thanks for being on, and thanks for being a partner.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, before we hop in, I know you and I were talking, before we hopped on this podcast. There's some really interesting things that I didn't know, that I think consumers and even agents, you were talking specifically about, buyers agents and some things that have been going on within this awesome market. But there's also a dirty side to the market that you were talking that I found very interesting. And so I'm excited to dive into that here in a bit. But before we do that, Mike, why don't you tell people just a little bit about you, man, where you grew up, kind of your history in terms of your careers and how you got to where you're at right now?
Sure. No, absolutely. It's sad. I know, Jordan, you said we run into each other a bunch and obviously not realizing how big of an age difference you and I have. But back in 92, I actually got my real estate license up in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm originally from. And then I was fortunate enough in 95 to be offered a position, my first real job with a software company down here in Dallas that sold new home construction data to the realtor community. So I packed up my bags and moved down to Dallas as quick as I could back in 95 and ended up running all over the Dallas Fort Worth area before George Bush was built, before 121 was built. When the tollway ended at Plano Parkway over by the Audi dealership, and then Preston Road was Preston Road going north, there was pretty much a 2-lane cinder road. So remember driving out to Ebby Halliday's office up on Main Street in Frisco. It felt like that was a 2-day trip to get up there. So how things have changed in Dallas and in the real estate market. That DOS software program that I came to work for through many acquisitions is now today Realtor.com. So again, we started that before anyone was using the internet. So it was a short-lived DOS program that went to a Windows-based program. And then, of course, in the late 90s, early 2000s, the online, the .com boom, and it just took off from there. So have had my hands in the Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market since 95.
Dang. Yeah, so you've been around in this world quite a bit. What is that?
Yeah.
Like almost, coming up on 30 years almost.
I know, it's sad to say. Sad to say, and I'm only 35, so it's weird.
Yeah, you started real young, man. Holy smokes. Well, I'm sure you've learned a lot and met a lot of people along the way. And I know when we met a while back, you seem to know a lot about what's going on in this world and in this industry. And so again, we're just excited to have you a part of this community. Tell us a little bit about how you got wrapped up with Fidelity.
Yeah, for sure. So I had, again, I've been in the software side, been in the advertising side of real estate, and had an opportunity more than 10 years ago to get on with a small company out of Atlanta from the warranty side that was then acquired by Fidelity National Home Warranty back in 2015. So shortly thereafter, I was VP of sales, ended up leaving, parting ways, and just through all things in life, right? Timing is everything. The right conversations were had to come back, and especially in this market, right? This crazy, what do we say, pandemic, post-pandemic market that's been going on. And there are so many things, like everything in specifically, right, our economy and the real estate market, everything ebbs and flows and has cycles, goes through cycles. And again, it just appears, so I wish I could predict the future, but it appears we are going through just such a similar cycle, even to the one that we went through back in the 06, 7, 8, 9 timeframe. And I realized that was a mortgage debacle that caused some of the headaches then. But now we've got inflationary issues that are going to start to cause some of the cracking in the dam, if you will, with some of these price points, and it being such a strong seller's market today. And that's what's changing so many of the dynamics when it comes to home warranties and writing a clean contract and things of that nature.
Well, we were talking, and this is probably a good time to segue in, since you were kind of hitting on it, because the market is it's pretty incredible, right? I mean, like what's been happening the last couple of years. Yeah. You look at, a lot of people are making way more money inside the real estate realm than they ever have before. Home prices have doubled, and it's been, I mean, literally prices have in a lot of cases doubled in the last 2 years, and so. You said, when we were talking earlier, talking about how, this is a great market, but there also is an ugly side to it that oftentimes we don't hear about. And so there's some uniqueness that's going on. And we were talking about, how you've heard multiple stories of buyer's agents, getting sued and for various reasons. So kind of explain what we were talking about a little bit before we hopped on. and how that plays into, the great market, but the ugly side of it.
Absolutely. Right. And I think with all media and news streams, right, what we typically do, or they typically do, is bury the ugly, not pretty news, right? Of course, we want to bring the shiny stuff to the surface and talk about, the great market, how houses are selling, increasing in value at a crazy rate, sometimes at an alarming rate. But the kind of page two pieces that the media is producing that we don't, as general consumers, get to digest a whole bunch, is there are a number of disgruntled home buyers. There's that group that are thrilled that we finally got a house. We put offers in on 20 different homes, didn't even get a call back. Finally, we got one that we put an offer in on. And what's going on, and I think we're all aware of it, and because this is in the media, what's happening is everyone's trying to write a clean contract so that theirs gets selected to purchase that home. And so many times a home purchase is an emotional purchase, and I've always been taught never buy a home based on emotions, right? Just buy a home based on the financial ramifications of it all. But what happens is a lot of, and it happens to all of us, we get that emotional charge. We're excited to get the family in the house. And in order to write that clean contract, we start waiving things that would normally be in a typical market would be included in the contract. And, one of the first ones that gets written out is the residential services agreement, otherwise known as the home warranty. And I think part of that, there's twofold that comes into play that I've seen. When the market gets as exciting as it is right now, we have a lot of new agents that come in to play, right? The number of licensed agents in DFW has, and I have to look up the statistics again. I know back the last time we hit a bubble, it went from over 30,000 licensed agents to under 20,000 almost overnight. And I've heard some crazy numbers that I don't want to say because actually I haven't had the chance to fact check those, but I know we're much higher than 30,000 licensed agents today.
Since I've been here, Mike, just to pause, the number that I keep hearing is that there's roughly 60,000 licensed agents in DFW. Doesn't mean they're all active. I hear numbers around like 35,000 active real estate agents, but in terms of license, we're looking close to 60,000.
Sure. Right. So let's go with the active number, 35,000. And they want to make sure they've been taking their client, this, younger family with small kids. They're trying to find that perfect home in the right neighborhood, right? The right school district. So they're going out and they keep putting in offers, and they're not getting anywhere. So, the agent says, hey, I think one of the things we need to do is, let's make the contract as clean as possible. So let's go ahead and we'll take the home warranty out. We won't ask, because then this is, I think, key, right? It's all about the verbiage and how things are presented. We always ask for the seller to pay for the home warranty. Well, anyone can pay for a home warranty. And I think that's one of the biggest misnomers where things get tripped up is, all right, we don't want to ask the seller to pay for it. And then they start removing things. And this is where I'll go back to some of the news that's kind of brushed to this page two. There are a number of home buyers that have also passed on an inspection. So they're passing on that due diligence window they have to actually take a deeper dive at the house and look under the hood, right? And see what's wrong or what could potentially go wrong in the real near future. And there are no doubt, there are some horror stories right now because you've got some homeowners who are only planning on spending, and this was a Northern California example. So they were planning on spending $750 to get the house. They had to pay $800, and they waived the warranty and the home inspection. Well, by the time they got in there, within the first 6 months of being in there, they had an extra $100,000 of repairs. So they were basically $150,000 over what they were really budgeted to spend on a home. Yeah. And the fact is they didn't have the money. So they didn't have the money to do the repairs. The house continued to deteriorate. And then, you have to start cutting back. You start cutting back on dinners, right? Your social life. And it's those hard decisions that people have to start making. Well, if it's good with you, I'm just going to segue into, we've got an E&O division. And what's happening is some of those home buyers now are really frustrated with the financial predicament they're in, and they're looking for someone to pay for their pain. So they've turned to lawsuits. And our attorney at our E&O division have got a great piece. Jordan, I think I had a chance to share it with you via email. Just 2 recent case studies that have come out where the home buyers have gone back and sued their buyer's agent. And let me take a sip of water. So they went back and sued their buyer's agent, and the judge sided with the home buyer. And I'll clarify this really quick. As some of the new agents coming in, they're really excited to get their buyer a house. They're not doing anything maliciously. They're just quickly trying to have success with their buyer. So they sometimes just forget to even mention the home warranty. When in these 2 particular cases, one was settled for $14,000. The buyer's agent had to give to their buyer, and another one was $8,000. They had to give to their buyer. Well, depending on how much commission they made on the sale or purchase of that house, that could have been all or more than what they made on the house. But here's the crux of it. What was determined in the whole process was, first off, the agent didn't even suggest that, hey, you're buying this house. It's going to be tough to get your offer accepted if you ask the seller to pay for the warranty. So why don't you pay for the warranty? It's a wise investment for your investment, or a wise purchase for your investment. And on the flip side, we have a number of agents, and I can speak specifically here in Dallas-Fort Worth. I have a slew of them, and I appreciate them. They all pay for the home warranty. Now, they pay for the basic warranty package. There are a lot of upgrades that can be added, and the way they present it to their home buyer is, hey, congratulations on the purchase of your home. We also give that home buyer the ability to go in, and then they can pay for any additional options, additional coverage they'd like to add to that warranty. But again, the crux of these 2 lawsuits comes back to that the agent didn't even suggest that someone consider the home warranty. And I think that's where we're moving so fast right now. This market's moving so fast. It's easy to overlook things. And I talked to a broker, and he used a great example. He's a great teacher. He's been teaching here in the DFW area. He's taught thousands of agents here in DFW. And again, he's a broker. So, he has a vested interest in making sure things are done properly. But he tells his agents, keep in mind, it's a residential services agreement, as it is written in the TREC form. And he said, we need to look at it just as an important piece to the closing as the title insurance is. And if everyone took that same approach, right? Title insurance can be paid by buyer or seller, right? I mean, that's a choice that can be made, that can be negotiated. Everything can be negotiated. So, his point is, why aren't we taking the same approach with the residential services agreement? Because the fact is, what most home buyers, in the excitement of going through, they make sure to get their home insurance, but a home insurance and home warranty are 2 very different things, but they are a great complement to each other, right? Together, they're the total solution for the homeowner. And I think the takeaway, and I'll stop here, is just that as exciting as it is, as fast paced as everything is going, there are some little things, I'll just say some I's that aren't being dotted, T's that aren't being crossed. And in the long run, there are some families that are really going to start hurting financially because of this excitement that's happened in the real estate market. And if everyone just take a deep breath and think it through like any other purchase, they can eliminate a lot of headaches. So that's for the buyer. For the buyer's agents, again, they can really eliminate a lot of liability on their side if they just take that one extra step of making sure they at least acknowledge that a home service contract can be put on it. A residential services contract can be put on the home. Excuse me, I misspoke. Because if they do that, at least the touch points have been made, and then it's the home buyer's decision from there.
Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And hopefully there's agents, that are hearing you when you say that. Cause I'm sure it will probably happen more frequently as we've been in this market, like you said, people are overpaying for their home. So they're overextending themselves already. They're likely, in a lot of cases, there's people that are cash poor They got the home, but they're cash poor. And now, like you're saying, they didn't do the inspection. So now there's all these repairs that might need to be done. They can't pay for it. Or like you said, they didn't get the warranty. Now their AC unit goes out and they got to pay $10,000 to replace it. And they don't have that money to do that. And they're not protected in that regard. And so as the agent, you're encouraging them, hey, like make sure that home warranty is in place, not only to protect the home buyer, but also yourself as the agent. It can be an additional step to protect yourself, because as you've noted, there's been cases where the judge has favored in the side of the homeowner to actually sue the agent, where they have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yep. We call it a commissionectomy.
A commissionectomy.
We do. Right. Not to make light of a serious situation, but just to get the attention, because I think it's so easy. Again, everything's moving at such a fast pace. We all want to get these deals closed. And everyone take a deep breath, take a step back, and just remember, check all the boxes and make sure you're thinking everything through.
Well, you made a good point before we hopped on too about just the you have some numbers just for perspective on when some people get a home warranty for this product, but they won't for their home. So share what you're saying in terms of like percentage and home warranty and what people, it's kind of funny when you put it the way you put it.
Yeah, this is something, and right, we all think a little differently, but I do laugh when, right, you're at the closing table to close, and I'm just going to use just simple numbers. Let's say, you're going in to purchase a $500,000 house, you're closing on it, and I'm going to pretend I'm being animated, like I'm sitting at the closing table at the title office, and they say, oh, by the way, did you want to add a warranty? And, warranties can range depending on what all that you cover and what upgrades. So, on average, around $500 or $600. Let's just we'll use 600 as the number, right? Well, you figure $600 on a $500,000 house, that is what, 0.1% of the cost of the house. But then I've seen those same home buyers, soon as they close, they're driving down to Best Buy to order the flat screen TV. And I do know that's a wide range of price. So let's say they go with the mid price. We'll go with some of the larger ones, 70 or 80 inch flat screens. I think you can get them around $1,500 now. They're come down so much in price. But the warranty on that is roughly $150. So it's 10% of the purchase price. And they don't think of it because it's only $150 instead of $600. And they gobble that warranty up. And keep in mind, that $150 is only covering a $1,500 TV. Whereas if you spend $600 on average, again, I want to make sure to clarify that. That's an average on a home warranty. You're help protecting, the major mechanical components of your home, which are going to cost a whole lot more to repair than that flat screen TV. As we know, the flat screen TVs are almost disposable now, like cell phones and laptops are becoming, right? You just let them run their couple of years and then dispose them and get a new one. So I like to say that not to be a smart aleck, but just to point out to people, hey, again, slow down a minute, think about how you're using your dollars. You'd be much better off not getting the warranty on that flat screen TV and getting the warranty on your home, because it's a complement to your homeowner's insurance policy. Right. Because I'll say this is one of the things that we always like to say. The warranty covers wear and tear on your major mechanical components. Insurance covers an event. And I have a great example, because I had a homeowner call me once. Their son was using one of the riding lawnmowers, and most exterior AC units, they're on just a cement slab of some sort, a cement or a solid plastic slab. Well, and I love it. The teenage son had run into the AC unit and just kept moving it. Well, there's a copper pipe coming into there, and that copper pipe is going to snap at some point. Well, he thought he could just put a shoulder into it and move it back, and Dad would never know. Well, sure enough, what do? It stops working. They call the home warranty company. We send a technician out there, and he said, hey, this copper pipe was just snapped in half, and you can see tread marks to where the lawnmower had actually moved it. So, right, there's the difference of an event, the teenage son moving it and causing the damage, as opposed to just normal wear and tear over time. As it deteriorates, it needs a repair. And that's what home warranty is there
Right. So in
for.
that situation, that's where the insurance would kick in.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it, though, is just to give a good visual, hopefully, to everyone that is listening, that, those are the two examples, but they're equally as important, because you never know which one is going to come into play for you at your house. Whether it's going to be the wear and tear that caused the issue at the AC, you need to call your home warranty. Whether it was an event, your
Yeah.
child running into it, or, a tornado moving it, just to give examples of events.
Right. Yeah. I suppose it's good. I mean, you think about, like you said, that $600 could save you tens of thousands of dollars of repairs. And
Absolutely.
if people are waiving an inspection fee because they don't want to pay the $500, or waiving the $600 warranty because they can't afford it, maybe they should recheck what price of home they're probably getting in the first place, and if it's something they should be getting anyways, right? If you can't afford that $600 on your $500,000 house, maybe they're getting the wrong home.
No, I think you know what, you put it perfectly. It's a great, right? A lot of people don't want to hear that, and sometimes that if it's said the wrong way, it can come across offensive. But I think you're exactly right. If everyone slows down and readjusts their thought process, if your top of your price range is 500, and you're being, to get the house now you got to pay 550. Well, then maybe you recalculate and go, let's make the top of our range 425, so that the top that we're paying is 5, and then we're still right in that same range as a home buyer.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Lennon, you're always sitting back there, cooking up thoughts and ideas. And I think we touched on some really cool things here. Is there any questions or any side thoughts, or things that you have while you're sitting back there listening to that? You talk to a lot of pretty incredible and influential and smart people as well. So I'm curious if you've kind of heard of those situations happening before, or anything similar.
It's funny, but I actually have been hearing that and reading a little bit more about it. Obviously, in a market that we have right now, that's so different, and every real estate transaction is an emotional transaction. Whether people can understand that or not, it's emotional. If something doesn't go wrong in today's world, somebody's going to look for someone to correct what went wrong. And if you don't have a home warranty, if you don't have the right one, one of the things that Mike said, we did a show on this. One of the very, very first shows we ever did on the difference was the difference between a home warranty and home insurance, because a lot of people don't know that difference. And Mike, you touched on that, which is, and you articulated it so well, because some people think, well, I've got insurance, so I don't need a home warranty. Well, it could save you a lot of money trying to replace something with insurance that maybe you can replace, but that's going to have an impact on your premiums, probably much more impactful than it would on a home warranty. But I would like for you to talk a little bit more about that, because I think that's a big misunderstanding with a lot of home buyers, especially first-time home buyers, on the difference between the insurance. And I don't know that you can explain it any better than you did, so I may be just asking you to repeat something. But I do think it's important to touch on that again, the difference between a home warranty and the things it covers and how it covers them, and the things that insurance covers and how it covers them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Right. I mean, like I said, I like my air conditioning unit one, just because that was one I was a participant in, getting that phone call and the homeowner trying to explain how his son had run the lawnmower into it. I think I'll make it a little broader around saying this, right? We're right now here in Dallas specifically, we have this crazy weather going on, and these winds and whipping around everywhere. And I think, those are, once again, just great examples. Those are events that are happening, right? If you have a fire and the fire damages your refrigerator in your kitchen, you're not going to call the home warranty company to repair that refrigerator. You're going to call your homeowner's insurance to repair that, because it was the event was the fire, and that event is what damaged the refrigerator.
Mhm.
So again, I like to stress that when I'm in meetings with agents. And, the key I think is always just trying to educate all sides, all parties that are involved, right? From agents to the buyers, just the brokers, everyone to understand, it's not just about Fidelity National Home Warranty, it's the home warranty industry as a whole. We're obviously here to help and assist homeowners for those unforeseen repairs. I think a big thing for homeowners to remember also with a home warranty is it's not an emergency services plan, right? And I would going to use another analogy. You have health insurance, which you have to call and get a referral to go see a doctor, or then you have concierge health insurance. Some people do, and they don't have to get any referrals. They're going in and get what they want done when they want it done. Well, you pay significantly more for concierge service health insurance, right? And I think that I try to always use analogies that we can relate to. I don't know that they always work, but in this case, that's where I would say, a home warranty is here to help eliminate the pain that a homeowner feels when they do get one of these major mechanical components that breaks down. But it is not an emergency service. So, if your toilet does stop working at 2 a.m., I don't know of many warranty companies that will have the ability to have a repair person out there that evening or that early morning, sometime between 2 and 6 a.m. to fix that. But you can always, again, just like concierge health service, pay extra for that immediate service. If it's a toilet that you need immediately repaired, well, you can always call the Roto-Rooters or whatnot that have an incredible upcharge to come at emergency hours,
Yeah.
right? So, and that's another piece I just really like to drive home for everyone. I don't know if there are any warranty companies that sell their product as that. I'm not aware of, because I think we'd really be doing a disservice to the homeowners and, of course, the agents if we ever tried to present it that way. It is a great tool that has a ton of success in helping homeowners address some of the the major mechanical components that have issues. It helps alleviate or eliminate some of those headaches that they get when it comes time to those repairs.
Mike, talk about, so obviously with a home that's been lived in and used and all that, I would imagine home warranty is very, very important. They're important and all, but there's a lot of new build, new construction, all that stuff that's going on. Do all builders have that warranty that comes standard with it? Is there, do you know if that's the case, if all the builders have a standard warranty that kind of comes with the new construction of a home?
So, I'll tell you, I was on the sales and marketing committee of the HBA down off of, what is that, Plano Parkway, many years ago. So I did spend some time in the new construction world and learning that world as well. To the best of my knowledge, and I have to qualify this, I'm not an expert on this, to the best of my knowledge, I would be shocked if any of us could find a new home construction builder right now that does not offer at least a 1-year warranty. And of course, all the appliances going in are going to be brand new. So those are all covered under their 1-year manufacturer warranty, right? And the builder usually offers a 1-year warranty against any defects that may appear in that first year. And it does happen. Things, some piping didn't get put together properly, just slipped incorrectly, and you start to notice it 3 months into moving in. So the beauty is, as new construction, yes, most people are going to have that reassurance. We do, and I can't speak for all home warranty companies, we do offer a new construction policy. It's really 4 years, but you buy it at closing. And here's the reason why. What we like to do, the most ideal scenario for all home warranties, this includes all home warranty companies, is that it goes through an escrow closing. So when that does, obviously it'll be paid through escrow. It's in place. The reason is because it'll pick up right at day 366, right? So day 365, your new construction, that builder's warranty expires at day 365. Ours picks up right at day 366 and then goes years 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Got it.
So it's an additional 4 years of coverage. And again, I know everyone says, but it's a brand new house. I've built 5 myself, and I know in 2 of them I've had microwaves go within the first 3 years. So having that coverage was, again, just good fortune. It worked easy, quick and simple. I had a repair person out there in a blink of an eye. Of course, it wasn't covered under the manufacturer's warranty at that point because that expired after the first 12 months.
Sure. So that was actually one of my questions because as I was saying earlier, someone who's never bought a home myself. So I like what you said. You can actually buy it when you close, but it doesn't kick in till the manufacturer, the builder's warranty expires. Now, if you don't do that, is it the homeowner's responsibility then to remember 1 year out or is the home warranty company somehow tied in to remind you? How does that work as a homeowner?
No, it currently, and again, we'd love, this is just me speaking, right? I mean, we can all say this. I wish all industries worked exactly the way I want them to work. But in this case, it is on the homeowner to be aware, right? And Jordan, I'm going to say this because, of course, I know you, but I love to say it. Someone said this to me, and a mentor, an older gentleman who said this to me many years ago, and he said, well, you know what that is? That's welcome to the world of homeownership, right? It's called all these responsibilities that we didn't have when we rented that now we have to be aware of as a homeowner. Do you change your air filters, right? Do you clean your air ducts? Yeah, all these different things that you don't ever have to worry about when you're renting.
Right.
That all of a sudden, you do pay attention to the refrigerator filter. I've never changed one in a rental property that I've rented, but of course, I got to remember to do that when I'm in one of the homes that I own.
Right.
So, Jordan, I was being a little smart with you there, but yeah, it comes back to that's welcome to the world of homeownership. And yeah, you have to think about all sorts of things that you didn't before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's important for us to know that, and it's easy. If you know that on the front end, it's easy. Like I would be someone that would just put, okay, a year out or maybe less than a year out, put that reminder in my calendar so that I don't forget, and so as long as it's known and educated on the front end, I think that's the key thing. So I love that. Well, hey, is there anything else in regards to warranty? You touched on some really, really cool things. I shouldn't say cool. I keep saying that. Really interesting things, important things for people to know. Is there anything else in regards to warranty, in regards to the market that you want to touch on, Mike?
I think an important thing to touch on here just is for all of us to remember, right? I know if you're looking to buy a car, there's supply chain issues, right? You might not be able to find the car that you want, or they're more expensive because we're having supply chain issues. And it doesn't matter what industry it is, the pandemic is still wreaking havoc on supply chain. So with that said, right, there are a number of people looking to build new houses. The length of time that it takes to build a new house now is what I don't want to say, and I'm not an exact scientist on this, right? I don't have exact numbers, but I've heard now up to a year and a half. Mm-hmm. And I know just 5 years ago, they were getting done in 6 to 9 months. Some builders were quoting that. So I need to qualify that. Now, because of supply chain issues, it's just pushed out even further. So I'm going to tie that into home warranties. The fact is a lot of these major mechanical components in a house all have a bunch of different components internally, and not knowing until the technician gets in and pulls it apart and sees what needs to be fixed. There are some parts that are delayed, and parts that we normally, for the last 20 years, we would get in 3 days. Sometimes now can take up to 3 weeks to get. So, and it may be the key part inside an air conditioning condenser.
Right.
So there's going to be some frustrations. And again, we're feeling it in all industries. So I would say I'd like to really drive that home and educate everyone, whether it's the homeowner, whether it's the agents, just for everyone to take a deep breath and let's all show some grace and be patient and understand that, nothing is malicious right now. We're all just dealing with supply chain issues that are getting fewer and fewer and farther in between. But when they do happen, I think we just all need to, again, take a deep breath and realize, hey, we're on the upside of where we were 2 years ago at this time. So
Right.
Things are looking good.
Yeah, a lot of things that can be out of y'all's control, and you can't do anything about that stuff. So that's good. That's a good asterisk right there. Well, hey, before we wrap it up, first of all, this was awesome, Mike. I mean, I myself learned a lot. Again, not being someone who's personally owned a home or anything like that before too, it's been insightful for me, and I think a lot of the people that were listening got some good information today. I want to, before we hop off, I want to shift to a personal note on you, because you and I have some similarities in the way we, we're a bit adrenaline junkies to a certain extent, right? I grew up racing snowmobiles and jumping 100 feet in distance, 20 feet in the air. And I enjoy that thrill seeking side. Again, with Real Producers, part of what we do, it's not just, a community, it's of talking just straight business. We love to show the personality behind it and get to hear people and get to know people on a more deeper level. And you have a bit of a history with being an adrenaline junkie, don't you?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, there's a difference between having a history as an adrenaline junkie and having some athletic talent, or just being a klutz and being an adrenaline junkie. So I think I fall in that second category of trying to do things that, they say that, what the mind believes the body can achieve. That's not always true.
Not always true.
That's not always true. My mind believed I could make 10-foot jumps on a snowboard, and my body said no. Or on a four-wheeler. It's way too many accidents. On the flip side, I think, and again, this is a compliment to you, I believe you've got the athletic ability that allowed you to actually experience the adrenaline rush without going to the hospital.
Yeah, I surprisingly made it, from age 3 till 17, being pretty reckless on a snowmobile, and suffered a couple of concussions. I don't think I ever broke a bone, which is pretty remarkable, because if you just saw some of the stuff that I would do. So maybe that was a little bit of luck involved as well, but you've had some pretty nasty falls and accidents.
I have. I've got a number of surgeries on the way, and I don't mind sharing, right, Jordan, because we talk about the age there. And so I just turned 50, but I put off a number of surgeries. I've ripped an Achilles, torn labrum in the hip, I've torn the left shoulder apart multiple times, trying to do rail slides that I never should have tried. I've snapped my right arm in half trying to do a 10-foot spine jump on a snowboard, almost got decapitated on a four-wheeler. Again, I will tell you, a ton of adrenaline. So I checked that box. I got all the adrenaline out of it that I wanted to. It was just that I ended up either in an ambulance or on a sled as the ski patrol took me down the rest of the mountain and dropped me off at the hospital.
You would have been like Johnny Knoxville's like #1 fan, or they would love to have you on Jackass, it sounds like, and you probably would have loved to be on it.
Well, right, only because I would have been the laughing stock always. We've got the hospital up in Whistler, Canada, actually has a file on me. The multiple times I've been in, the second and third time, the nurses laugh. They're like, "You're a former client." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know."
Yeah. So, repeat customer.
Yes.
Yeah. That's hopefully those surgeries go well. And I know you abused your body pretty badly, but we're all young, dumb. We all want to be Shaun White, but some of us don't have the
That's right.
the ability maybe to do it. But hey, kudos for you for putting yourself out there and trying, right? Most people wouldn't even dare. So I'm sure that adrenaline that you've applied to snowboarding and four-wheeling stuff has probably actually benefited you though in other ways in terms of taking risks in business that you've succeeded in and other things like that. So I'm sure there's a positive side to it all as well.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. You know what? There probably is, right? Some of the business risks, at least I'm not going to the hospital.
Yeah.
If they don't work.
Hopefully not, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, hey man, this was awesome. If there's anyone that would love to get a hold of you, whether that's an agent, whether that's a consumer, that would love to hear more about Fidelity, National Home Warranty, possibly start using you, pick your brain on some different things because you can educate in a lot of areas as well. What's the best ways that people can connect with you, Mike?
You know what actually is via cell phone. So my number is, try to put it out there everywhere, 469-590-5733. And you can text, call, try to stay as busy as possible. I do in being in front of agents, whether that's at lunches, at events, doing things like this. I think.
Cowboys Club.
What's that?
Cowboys Club,
right? To get agents over there as well. And again, I really appreciate you having me on here because I think it's just about having a good, calm conversation. This isn't the sexy part of the transaction. And not a lot of people get excited about talking home warranties or homeowners insurance and things like that. But if everyone takes a minute, takes a deep breath, steps back and thinks it through logically, it's the right conversation to be having. And in the end, everyone's going to be much, much happier, right? We're going to have less disgruntled people.
As you were speaking, I thought it was kind of almost comical that you should have been telling yourself that advice back in the day before you maybe tried to do, a spine flip and all those different things. The adrenaline junkie is now telling people to be calm, cool, and collected, right?
You learn. It's a hard way to learn. Some people learn it in a much easier way.
I love it.
I decided to take the hard road.
Hey, I love it. Well, hey, your experience has made you very wise, and we appreciate you hopping on and sharing some insights, and again, just being a great part of the Real Producers community. We're excited to have you on and to be able to connect you with different agents and everyone. It's a blessing for us. So thank you for being a part of the community. And man, we'll have to head over to the Cowboys Club here real soon.
Absolutely. Hey, we appreciate it. We're excited to be working with you all as well. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. Well, hey, thanks for everyone who tuned in. As you guys know, every Wednesday we will be here doing our live podcast. We also put this on Spotify. So if you guys want to check back in and listen to some of the things that we talked about here today, we are on Spotify. You can check out DFW's Real Estate Best. Just type it into Spotify and you'll get to review this whole amazing podcast. And tune in next week. Well, we appreciate you.